Alright folks, just a quick video. I wanted to talk a little bit about a Cold Steel Kukri Machete that I picked up. I've had it for like 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. When I got it, I just wanted to pick up a nice big cool knife to play around with, and this one fit the bill. You can get these for about 20 to 25 bucks, shipped to your house. They're made out of 1055 carbon steel, which is kind of like a springy steel. It's a medium carbon steel, and it comes with like a baked on anti-rust finish. It's almost like a gun blue or something like that. It's not the same kind of coat that you would see like on a Becker or an SE or a Tops or a Bussy knife or something like that. It's almost like a gun blue finish. And I've stripped a couple knives lately, and I was talking to some of my buddies who have these Cold Steel machetes, and they were all kind of like, yeah, we should strip them down and stain them up and see what happens. And so I got this out of the garage today, and the reason it's just been sitting in the garage is it comes with a pretty dull edge, and then just with that finish on it, I just put it in the garage, and I figured I'd use it whenever I needed to do some macheting, and the need just hasn't come up. So anyhow, I got it out today. I was talking to my buddy, and I found on the internet where somebody was stripping these, I think it was on YouTube, with brake cleaner. And I was telling my buddy, I said, oh, I figured out a way to do it. And then he found a way where this guy was saying that he stripped these using just rubbing alcohol. And so that's what I did. I got some rubbing alcohol and I wet some paper towels, and I went ahead and stripped this down. This metal is very, very porous, and it feels like it's just kind of like a blank cut out of a sheet of 1055. I mean, it's very grainy. So there's still some of that anti-rust finish trapped within the grain of the steel, and it's a very rough finish. And the edge, it says it comes with a working edge, which it was really dull. It's kind of, I'm not sure what was sharper, the spine or the edge. But after I stripped the finish off, I've been using this Lansky puck and just trying to smooth this edge out and sharpen it up a little bit. Ultimately, what I want to do is do a mustard stain, and so I'll do that as part of this video. But now that it's stripped and I'm working on the edge a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and stain it up, and I'll probably take this on a couple of camping trips that I got planned and just play around with it and see how it goes. It's pretty thin. It's got a little bit of flex to it at 2 millimeters, which there's the Spyderco Endura, for example, has a thicker blade steel. But this is kind of in between a knife and a machete. When I think of a machete, I think of flexibility. This isn't really that flexible. So when I bought it, I was kind of hoping it'd be a big knife that would kind of compete with like the SK5 Kukri, and that certainly wasn't the case. And I think that's kind of the reason why I hadn't really used it. But now that I'm playing with it, I'll go ahead and stain it up, clean it up, and try to get a pretty sharp edge on there. It has this kind of like rubberized handle, which actually feels really good in the hand. The only thing that's missing, it does have a lanyard hole. I am going to put a lanyard on here because I think I'd feel a little bit better if I slid my hand through a loop before I used it. Anyhow, that's enough of me gabbing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to get set up a little bit later. I got a couple other things to do with some mustard, and we'll go ahead and mustard stain this up and see what we come out with. Thanks. Alright guys, we're back, and I just have some cheap generic mustard here, yellow mustard. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint this blade. You can do any pattern you want, it doesn't really matter. Typically what I'll do is I'll do a stain, put the mustard on, let it sit for 20 minutes, wipe it off, flip it, do the other side. And I repeat that process twice, and that gives me 2 layers of patina, or forced patina. Alright, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. As you can see, it's nothing fancy. Everybody can do it. Just act like it's a big old hot dog. Alright, well, I just finished the first round of the stain, and you can't barely even see it. So I don't know if this is different mustard than what I typically use. So I don't know if it was a mustard issue or if it's just given the porous nature of this, and maybe there's still some darkness on there from the original bluing that was baked on. I really don't know. So I'm going to go try to figure this out and see what I can do, and I'll be back later. Alright guys, here's where we ended up. This is, it's been a lot of work. This side's still a little bit darker, and I imagine that this one is going to darken up continuously. Typically what happens is that when you stain them, they continue to stain even after you clean the blade up. I still need some more cleaning to do here. and I've done each side a few times to get some layering. And what actually happened is that the patina stain wasn't taking, and so I sanded the blade down with some 100. You can hear it's not gritty like it was. I sanded it down with some 100 and then 320 grit wet dry sandpaper to smooth it out, and then the patina started to take a little bit better. Like I said, this side's a little bit darker. Once I spray that down with some ballistol and clean it up, I imagine this side will lighten up some, and I imagine this side will continue to darken up some. That is something that's been consistent with all the blades that I've stained. So anyhow, that's it. I'm going to continue to work on it, but I wanted to finish this video up, and that's it. Thanks, everybody.